It's Thomas.
Yeah, hi, this is Dale calling from New Zealand.
Hey, Dale. What's happening?
Hey, am I speaking to Thomas Youngblood?
Yes, you are.
Cool. Now, are you ready and comfortable for a wee chat?
Absolutely. How's it going in New Zealand?
It's good. Can't complain, that's for sure. Guess we jump straight into it. So, how's it going with you guys and the band at the moment?
It's going great. We're getting ready to kick off our North American tour. We fly to Mexico City for a big show there, and then we start in the U.S. and Baltimore, and so we're gearing up for that, and everything else will follow. We'll be doing Europe and hopefully Australia and New Zealand at some point in the near future.
That'd be cool. Now, of course, apart from having an awesome name, what is your role in the band? You're, of course, guitarist, co-founder, creative force. Have I got it right there?
Yeah, well, thank you. When I was a kid, it was a little bit interesting having this name, but now it's kind of cool. But for me in Kamelot, it's always been about sort of trying to be creative and be one of the songwriters. I'm not the only songwriter, but also I'm part of the management for the band. So you could say I'm a little bit of wear many hats within the whole organization, but it's one of those things that's a labor of love, and I just enjoy doing this. And also when I hear from fans and stuff, everything's worth it, you know?
Now, we're actually talking today because you guys have a new album, Haven, out in early May. The song Veil of Elysium has already been released, and it's quite a powerful song. What can fans expect with this new album? Are we going to see the interplay of sounds and emotions that mysteriously combine to present what is ultimately a more satisfying listener experience?
That sounds really good. Yeah, I mean, it's a diverse record. I mean, the song Veil of Elysium, it's one aspect of it. Then we have some very melancholy songs on the record. We have some uplifting parts of the album. We have our heaviest song probably ever with the song Revolution. So, I would say it's probably our most diverse record. It has so many different sort of emotional kind of journeys on it, which is a really cool thing. And every person that I've spoken to, basically they all have a different favorite song, which I think is also kind of a cool thing to hear, that every song has this sort of special kind of element to it. Yeah, I mean, it's just a real diverse and I would say emotional, kind of an emotional roller coaster if the fans listen to the album from beginning to end, which is something that I always try to encourage.
Yeah, it's a good point. I guess you can always pick and choose a couple of songs from you guys, singles or whatever, but it's definitely a more rewarding experience if you start from track one and work your way through the album for a lot of your albums.
Yeah, and it's like a kind of a tricky thing when you release a single or one song. Um, you don't really want one song to sort of represent what you feel as a whole kind of piece of work, but it's sort of like when you release a trailer for a movie, you kind of have to pick parts of it for the fans to sort of at least catch their attention. And so, I mean, that's kind of how I look at a lot of these things that we do with these little musical clips or teasers and things like that. But every record that we've done, we hope has a lot of diversity, so that it's not too homogenous and where every song has almost the same kind of sound or feel, or just a little variation of the same chorus, which you hear a lot in different kind of albums, and that's something that we definitely strive not to do. So, and with Haven, we were able to achieve, all of those kind of criteria that we have with each record, which is having the Kamelot sound, but also creating something fresh and unique.
Cool. I guess surely, but this stage in the band's career, that fans know that an advanced single is it's not the whole package that I guess with a lot of bands sometimes a single can be quite telling, but with you guys it's only one part of the story.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of fans, even I would be the same way if I heard one song from a new album and I never heard the rest. Of course, your brain's going to all of a sudden think this is the direction for the whole album, And with Veil of Elysium, it's pretty signature Kamelot structure, and so even if that was the case, that's fine for us. But I just want fans to also have that open mind that there's going to be new, fresh ideas that we feel is going to challenge them, which is something that I think is important for all groups, is to make music that you like yourself and that challenges you, and hopefully, I can say with the Kamelot fan base, they expect those kind of things, and which is a really nice thing to have as an artist.
Cool. All right, so I first discovered you guys, if I'm being honest, back on the Black Halo. In particular, the song March of Mephisto, which features Dimmy Borger's Shagrath on guest vocals. It's a song that I played quite regularly on my old radio show, and one that, I have a note here, that I feel would be a prime contender if I ever needed background music or entrance music. So you've had some spectacular guests on previous albums, and of course it continues here on Haven. You've got Alyssa back from Arch Enemy, Nightwish, Delane. How do you go about choosing guests? Because I imagine at this stage you have quite a long list of musicians showing interest.
Well, it's kind of cool. I mean, all of these people we've toured with, Alyssa, you mentioned, she basically was our touring guest vocalist for most of the Silverthorn album. So we got to know her really well, and she's become a really good friend of ours. And we wanted to bring her back, but also showcase a different aspect of her voice, which we were able to do with the song Liar Liar. Delane is a band that's toured with us in Europe and the U.S. before, and so we really like Charlotte's voice and thought it would be a cool, unique kind of thing to bring her in. And also on that same song, we have Troy Denockley from Nightwish doing some of his kind of folk instrument additions to the song. So it's really very organic, not a big grandiose plan, with these folks, and it was actually planned fairly quickly, and I think we were really fortunate that all of them had the time to go and work on the stuff in their busy schedule, which, as we all know, it's just sometimes. Well, Delane, for example, was on tour when when Charlotte did the vocals, so she had to find a studio on the tour, and so it's just a really cool thing to have these friends of ours that are also very talented, and we're able to kind of contribute to the Haven album.
Cool. It's well, it sounds interesting having to record on the road like that. Now you got over 20 years experience with the band. Was it 24 years, I think? Already with 10 studio albums, 11th on its way with Haven, obviously. Is producing a new album still a creative challenge? I mean, I guess given the final product, it seems kind of a silly question to ask because there's so many elements to it and all that sort of thing. But, is it producing new music, recording a new album, does that still hold that creative challenge for you guys?
It's weird. We still kind of never run out of ideas and inspiration. I think that, having that gap of 2 years or a year and a half between the release of each record is crucial. I remember when I was younger, bands would put out an album every year. I think if you do that, you end up losing a little bit of creative energy and probably creative ideas. And having that 2 years off between each record, I think it's really important to to kind of separate yourself from the thing you did before, and that's something that we definitely do. And also bringing in Oliver Polatai, the keyboard player, as one of the songwriters, and now with Tommy being a major force in the songwriting team that actually adds a whole new dimension to the songwriting for Kamelot. So, yeah, I don't see us running out of any ideas or steam anytime soon. So it's an exciting, I guess, reality for us, and hopefully that time won't come. If it doesn't, then we just might pack it in at that point. But we're definitely feeling like there's a lot more to say and do with this band.
Cool. That's good news for fans to hear, no doubt. Now, I have yet to catch a Kamelot show, but I've seen a few things, and more recently a photo posted to Facebook promoting a show of yours in New York. And the stage show looks amazing. So how do you feel about that whole side of things, your theatrics, stage show and all that? Do you find it necessary to build appropriate sort of atmosphere within that sort of live environment, or is it, chucking up a backdrop still okay, given that some venues obviously can't take the full force of a Kamelot show?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like you said, depending on the venue and things like that, it definitely changes the dynamics for the show. I mean, but the true test of a good band is, being able to just go up there with the backdrop and no props, no fire or whatever, and still put on a killer show and still have the fans have an amazing experience. And so, we do shows like that are smaller, but obviously for us it's fun to be able to do a full theatrical kind of more production where we can bring pyros and elevated stages and things like that are reserved more for the bigger venues. And so it's a cool contrast, and it's something that, like I said, I think doing those smaller shows also is a good reminder to appreciate the big ones and also to keep you on your game. So, yeah, I mean, of course, it's a killer fun for us to be on stage and have 8 pyro units going up and feeling the heat from it and just imagining how it probably looks and stuff. So that's always exciting as well.
No, I ask partly because here in New Zealand we're you might say we're somewhat limited in terms of the size and variety of the venues that are available to bands to play. So if you kind of turned around and said, no, we won't play anywhere, it won't let us put up our pyros, it might be a bit limiting for a Kamelot coming to town.
Yeah, I mean, another factor, of course, is the cost of flying over a lot of equipment. And I don't know anything about the laws of New Zealand when it comes to open flames and stuff like that. I know in the U.S. it's pretty much impossible unless you're doing arenas and stuff. But in Europe, for example, Holland and Scandinavia, it's pretty normal to be able to do it in a medium-sized venue. So whenever we can do stuff like that, we try to, given the the right budget and things like that. But I mean, I'm sure if we come to New Zealand, whether it's a small venue or a bigger venue, we're going to give the fans a great show. So we don't have to worry about that.
That's cool. I hadn't thought of the legalities of all that sort of thing. I guess not being in a band or anything like that sort of doesn't occur to you when you're just a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that. I'd be the same way, but I think most of the fans, they've seen clips online and they've seen the different size shows that we've done, and you can kind of figure if it's a 800 capacity venue, we probably won't be bringing big, flamethrowers and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, whether it's a small show or a big show, we give the fans the most that we can, and I think that's at the end of the day, that's always appreciated.
Cool. I guess we're running out of time now. I just got one last question. It's something that occurred to me the other day that when you listen to a song on the radio, it's usually a non-metal song, but sometimes I feel that it could do with a touch of a metal influence, maybe just at a particular climactic point to add extra intensity or whatever. But more often than not, it sort of falls flat, and I think that's what's good about the Kamelot sound is that while you're not going crazy all the time, you definitely pack that punch. Certainly when you need to. Have you come across that? Is that something that you've noticed?
It's not something that I consciously think about. I mean, I think it's more of a style where we can try to fuse a little bit of these different musical elements, and of course, when it comes time for it to be heavy, we want it to be like brutal, like I was mentioning the song Revolution. There's a super clean melodic part of just beautiful vocals, and then it just becomes this brutal, heavy part. So I think those, the word contrast keeps coming to mind when it comes to the Haven record, and I really love being able to infuse all these different genres of music into this sort of framework that we call Kamelot. And so hopefully that's something of what you're talking about. I'm not totally sure if I answered your question, but it's important to have those different diversities because everybody in the band has different musical tastes, and it's always fun to be able to sort of put some of that into what we do.
Cool. Yeah. Definitely. A lot of the beautiful melodic moments add impact to some of the more brutal stuff, and vice versa for a lot of your songs.
Yeah, I think that mixture is really crucial to the Kamelot sound, and it's obviously something that we work on and think about when we're composing, and to just have like a song that's front to back the same kind of element or mood, I think would be boring, at least for us,
Thanks for talking to me today, and good luck on your upcoming North American tour with Dragon Force, I believe. They're always a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time, and thank you for the interview, and please tell the fans down there to make a bunch of noise to bring Kamelot down to New Zealand, and we'll definitely be there with if the fans want to see us, we'll definitely come see them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thanks for the chat, and good luck. Yeah, cheers. Bye.
Excellent. Cheers. Bye.